Alrighty folks, in this video we are going to review creating a new campaign. So the first thing you're going to do is navigate over to the marketing tab and then the campaigns page if you have not already, if you're not following up from our previous video. But after you've done so, go ahead and create new campaign using this button right here. Go ahead and click this and you're going to have two options in front of you. Either email only campaign, which will automate emails and video emails to your prospects or clients, whatever contacts you have in your system, or full featured, which will include a phone number being present inside of the system and sending out SMS and MMS messages, ringless voicemails, and call bridges as well. Now keep in mind, if you choose a full featured campaign, for contacts, you can only have one full-featured campaign per phone number at a time. So you can only have one full-featured campaign for a contact with a specific phone number ever. If you have another campaign with that same phone number, you will not be able to run it for that contact. If you have a separate full-featured campaign with a separate phone number, you will be able to run that for that contact. So each full-featured campaign has to have one phone number, and each contact can only have one full-featured campaign with that phone number each. So just keeping that in mind, we'll go ahead and build out a full featured campaign. So the first thing you're going to do is select a phone number from within your system from this drop down. Select the time zone. So if you are marketing to somebody who is out of New York, you would obviously choose Eastern Standard Time. If it is somebody who is in Central Standard Time, make sure you are choosing that time zone from this drop down. And we do recommend, if you have a ton of contacts from all over the country or even all over the world, just make sure you're choosing the correct time zone for them, because you certainly would not want a touch point sending out outside of DNC hours or outside of the legal allowance for that state. You just want to make sure you are being on the up and up and that you are being as convenient to that contact in order to gain their business in the future or to nurture them properly as an existing client. From there, you're going to want to rename this campaign something you're going to remember. So something that you can quickly and easily search by in the campaigns page if you ever need to bring it up later. Also, you're going to choose what happens when somebody responds to this campaign automatically. Does it just continue and power through even though they've already responded to your outreach? Is it going to pause to be resumed later? Or is it going to unsubscribe them permanently from this campaign, no longer ever sending out future touchpoints? After that, we are going to start adding in the various touchpoints you can use from inside of Qlik. So the first would be email. You'll just select your subject. You will go through and type in your subject, whatever you would like to send out to this prospect, to this client, to this contact, using this personalize field to deeply personalize it using a wide array of different contact fields, a wide array of user fields for yourself, date fields, URLs, for that contact, again, those contact fields or custom contact or user fields that you've created inside of your own system. After you've gone through and typed out the subject, we'll say test and then their first name. So test prospect's first name, and then in the body we'll do the same, test prospect's first name, space last name, for example. After we have typed that in, we have aligned the text, edited anything having to do with this email body down with these options here below, added in any images or any links, anything whatsoever you want to include here. After we've gone through and selected all those options and made it our own, we will go in and choose when to send this follow-up. So do we want this first follow-up to send 3 days later? Do we want this first follow-up to send a month later? Do we want this to be an X-date type follow-up that sends a year down the line, a year later after you've enrolled them in it? If not, if we want to send it immediately, you'll choose this option here. If you want it to send 5 minutes after you click start for this campaign, or after you slide this contact into this campaign, or into a pipeline that triggers automation to enroll this contact in this campaign, if you want to send out 10 minutes after the point of that happening, or 5 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, totally up to you. If you wanted to send out 2 days later after enrolling a contact in this campaign, or if you want to send out 30 days later, 100 days later. If you want this to send out 1,000 days later, that is the absolute furthest out that you can send a touch point automatically. So quite a while out there. You can have some of these campaigns literally running for years. We're up to about 3.5 years or so. But after you have decided to send that out immediately, later the same day, on a later date, and at a later time, or not necessarily a later time, but at a time specified through here, again, coinciding by that time zone you originally selected, or on a custom date, birthday, anniversary. These are fields for your contact. These are date fields for that contact. So it sends out every year on that same day, at that same time, or recurring every day, every 2 days, every 30 days. For example, that's great for newsletters. Every 30 days sending out a newsletter, or weekly newsletters. If you have content coming in, or you have a ton of content to put into this system, you can then test it. So for example, this is email. This is an email we have created with personalized fields and selected when to send it out. But we want to test it first. We want to see how it looks. So we will put in an email address here, send that test email to ourselves so that we can view what that looks like. Now keep in mind, when you send the test emails, it is going to have the code. So don't get scared off by that happening. You don't have a contact on this yet. So you can test it on yourself, making yourself a contact, starting the campaign, and having it drip on you maybe a minute in between each touch point, so you can view all of it coming in within 10 minutes, seeing all of those events take place, so you can see how that workflow is going to go, how all of those are going to look with the actual first and last name, with the actual contact fields. But when you send this test email, it is going to have the code. It's not going to have Jeremiah Stapp. It's going to have first name, last name in these brackets appearing like this. But that's only because it's a test email. You're just going to send that one off to test this before you set the follow-up email. But once you have set that follow-up email, it will appear right here, and it will show you when it's supposed to be sending out. If we edit this, and we make this immediately, it's going to show at the very top of everything, day one and immediately. The next up is text messages. So text messages, very quick, self-explanatory. You're going to go in here, add in what text message you want to send out, personalizing it with all those same various fields. Choose when to send it out, immediately, later the same day, on a later date, custom date, greetings, or recurring. You can test these as well. Ringless voicemails, you are not able to test ringless voicemails, but it's because you'll basically just be testing a recording. What happens is it sends directly to their voicemail box. It does not ring their phone. Well, I should say it technically rings their phone for about a millisecond, and then it goes directly to their voicemail box. So that's kind of how ringless voicemails work. And if you need more information on that, certainly Google ringless voicemails to get a bit more detail. But that's how ringless voicemails work. From here, you can record inside of the system. So you can actually record your voicemail from your headset connected to your computer right inside the system, or send yourself a file. I believe it's an MP3 file, send yourself an MP3 file, and you can upload it into this ringless voicemail touchpoint straight from the system. Make sure and title it something you're going to remember, because what it's going to do after you upload it into the system, it's going to save it as a template. So anything you have created inside your system, it's going to save that voice file right here. So you're going to have some storage for these voice files you create inside the system or upload inside the system. Same story, after you've done that and it sounds great and you've tested on yourself or whatever, you're going to choose exactly when to send it out. Immediately, later the same day, on a later date, custom date, greetings, or recurring. You can also create video emails inside the system. So you can record voicemails and you can record video emails. So very cool. You can actually select this button. It's going to open up a screen for you to start recording yourself. For example, I'll show you kind of what that looks like. So you'll click record. It's going to open up your camera. Mine is going to show red because my camera is covered. But you'll select this. It will count down, giving you some time to get ready. And then you can start recording yourself speaking. So this would be you speaking to the camera, saying, hey, I just wanted to introduce myself. I just wanted to let you know I'm in your area, or let you know that I value you as a client, or that I know we just spoke and this is great. I can't wait to establish this future relationship with you. You'll click stop. You'll add a title. You'll add a description. And then you'll add it to a certain folder, if you have a folder in the system, to keep everything separate. And then you'll click yes. After you do that, it uploads the entire video for you, and you will then proceed to edit the subject and body just as you would the normal email touch point, and personalize it. Personalize everything. And you can also choose to include an attachment on the video emails. Very, very cool. So you have a lot of functionality there. But after you've done that, same story. Picking when you want to send this out and sending yourself a test email so that you can view that video email. What's going to happen is it's going to open, it's going to give you a preview if you've uploaded a video that's more than 5 seconds of you maybe waving your arms, you know, making different hand gestures and, you know, moving your face around, whatever you did in that video. And then when they click that link, it's going to open up another screen. That screen is going to be a huge image of you speaking to them, your logo up at the top, a really cool background, a backdrop to all of this, and then it's going to be a spot right underneath where they can reply directly to you. Coolest thing in the world. We absolutely love our video emails. But that's not the only option. You don't have to record right here inside the system. You can choose from a library of pre-recorded videos, or you can upload your own. Now, when I say pre-recorded videos, these are all recorded by you along your journey, along different video emails that you've uploaded into the system. They will all be saved automatically to this library, and you'll be able to select them in the future. I just wanted to expand on that briefly. But you can also upload your own video file right here by clicking this button and choosing something in the correct format to upload into this video email touchpoint. But after you've done all that, after you've chose where and when to send it and sent yourself a test email, you'll set that follow-up email. CallBridge. How this works is you are going to specify a phone number here, and this is going to be your phone number. This is going to be either your office line, this is going to be your click phone number that's inside your system, or it's going to be your cell phone number. Now you can choose to include this CallBridge, and what it's going to do is it's going to dial that phone number. So it's going to dial whatever phone number you put down here, your cell phone, your office phone, or your click phone number that you have chosen inside of your system, at whatever time you specify here, and it is going to live transfer you to your prospect. it is going to, in real time, as soon as that lead hits your system, it is going to dial you and tell you to call them directly. It's not going to just give you a phone number either. It's going to tell you to press 1, and then it's going to automatically dial out from that phone number that you have specified here, and then you will be on the phone with them in seconds, as long as they answer. So it's great for replacing cold calling and call tasks. Basically, if you don't want to take the call, or you don't want to cold call that day, maybe pause the campaign if it's a ton of contacts that you've created call bridge requests for automatically. Otherwise, just decline the call. What's going to happen is it's going to call this phone number, so your cell phone, your office line, your Qlik number. It's going to say press 1 to dial the prospect, or press 2 to hang up. If you press 1, again, it's going to live transfer you directly to that contact that hit this marketing campaign. This is great for Facebook ads. It's great for any lead vendors, anything like that. From there, you can also send out MMS messages after choosing what the message is and what file you want to upload, using all these various file types, keeping in mind the carrier that will receive this MMS message. The carrier, if you are marketing to a contact who has a Verizon phone, their carrier, Verizon, has to be able to accept this 5 megabyte file size. We find that as long as you stay right under about half a megabyte, you're in good shape with most of these carriers, but every carrier has a different allowance. So keep that in mind when you are uploading the clip, when you are uploading the file to this MMS touchpoint. But after you've gone through, uploaded that, personalized that message with all these various fields all the same, or used a template that you've created in the past, after you've done all of those things and chose when to send it out, you will again set follow-up MMS. Click this button here. We don't want to set that. We want to look at the activities. So you can also schedule on certain days, so day 1, day 20, all the way to day 365, activities. So you can go through and set a call task, an appointment, a deadline, an email, a follow-up task, all these different task types or appointments inside your marketing campaign. So you can automatically generate call lists right from inside the marketing campaign. Really, really, really cool. You can automatically create tasks for your team to undergo, or appointments with the contact specifically, all by adding in a title and description and then setting that activity on day 1, again day 30, day 365, totally up to you, and choosing the time and then the duration of that event. You can then proceed to include actions in your marketing campaigns. So you can change the stage of a contact that has hit a certain day in this marketing campaign. You can add tags or remove tags. You can remove all tags. You can remove all collaborators, add collaborators, meaning sub-users in your account to this contact. You can pause all other campaigns or move into another campaign entirely at a certain day. So either immediately, later the same day, or on a later date, moving them into an entirely different campaign. Very, very powerful tools within the marketing campaigns. But go ahead and set that action if you want to, at that day specifically. And we can proceed to webhooks. So webhooks are sending out data, sending out all of these different fields, first name, last name, email, phone, address, city, state, zip, or deal value, automatically to another source, typically another software. So you can send this out to another CRM you use that is more specific to your niche, that has some qualities that you aren't able to access inside of Qlik. We very rarely find that being the case because Qlik is quite robust and you can customize pretty much every aspect of the entirety of the software. But if there is something you're using with success, if there is something out there that you want to get the data out of Qlik and into, completely up to you. entirely up to you. You'll just add the URL, where it is to be received essentially, and it is going to send this data out on that day automatically. So later the same day, on a later day, custom date greetings are recurring. That webhook is going to send out automatically. From there, we are going to touch base on connecting to these various sources on the next few modules. So we will touch base on that, but that was creating a marketing campaign inside of ClickCRM. We'll see you on the next video.